Hey folks, I'm back. It's been a little long time. It's been a long time. I'm glad to be back making episode 4 of Chernobyl Gamer Faze Clan Litty Reacts. I was gone the last couple weeks. I had some stuff to do on the weekend, and that's when I usually make these videos. Nobody cares. It's okay. I just got finished watching the trailer for The Dark Crystal on Netflix. Uh, I'm I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty horrified. I feel like this might be the next Breaking Bad of the 2010s. I feel like it. I would bet on black on this one. But nobody cares about that. We're just gonna get back into Litty Reacts. Let me just. Okay. Got the next beer opened and we're ready to go. Alright, here we get started off with this old lady expressing to some young Russian soldier all the shit that she's seen, everything that she's lived through, all the times that they told her to leave and she didn't, nothing that bad happened. Uh, it seems at this point to me to be pushing some sort of a political narrative based on what she's saying that I don't like that much. I think it gets away from the central thing that the show should be expressing at this point. But these people actually exist. There's some old ladies nearby. I'm sure they'd express the same sentiment if there was a radiological disaster nearby. There's like 3 or 4 of them around there, so I guess it's okay. I just don't like it that much so far. We'll see how it pans out for this old lady. Alright, so we all thought that the guy was gonna shoot the old lady, but he instead shoots the cow. And the old lady's clearly pretty sad by how she's sitting there dejected. It remains to be seen if she'll leave or not. I suspect that the series will not answer that question, as it in fact does not matter in order to produce the desired impact of the scene. The few lines she said before I thought were a little bit on the nose, but I think this scene delivers in what it's trying to say, and it has a pretty good message. This lady's been there for a billion years, and she has to leave because the last soldier, the last idiot who came to her house door, actually was willing to kill her cow. I bet she doesn't actually leave now that I'm thinking it. I'm sure she's got at least 2 more cows. Yeah, I don't think she's leaving. I'm pretty sure she still lives in nearby Pripyat. She's probably still alive. We'll see. Alright, so I paused it here because I hadn't paused it in like 3 minutes. We saw a scene where the firefighter's wife lady was really sad that she had to go home to a shitty apartment in Kiev without her husband, I guess. So that was kind of sad, I guess. And then we saw some routine radiological surveys nearby, I assume, to the plant because there was a helicopter and they can't fly that far without refueling. And then we got Legasov reminding us of his name. He answers the phone as Legasov. I really appreciate that one. And then he snuffs out another cigarette. I say another because there's clearly 8 cigarette butts in this image. That's about all we can say so far. There are 8, so he's been there for at least 12 hours in the room that he's at. I'm actually kind of surprised there aren't more. But we'll see where this goes from here, boys. Alright, so in this scene, Legasov first says that in a very detached way, because he's clearly been smoking a lot of cigarettes, he says that the atom is a humbling thing, and the other guy is like, oh, sorry about that, there's a 4-wheeler driving by outside my window. The atom's a humbling thing. And then the other guy says, like, can you stop with that bullshit? I'm trying to solve a problem here. And Legasov is like, yeah, we gotta push the graphite off the roof. He's probably gained a few pounds at this point. That's okay. He's been eating pretty good. Yeah, I assume they're gonna get into the. At this point, they're gonna talk about the dehumidifiers, the guys that push the graphite and the core bullshit off the roof at like 30 seconds at a time, and pushing into the big black hole. That's probably a good thing. The Gassoff is kind of being a shithead at this point. He should still be focused on solving the problem. But yeah, we'll see how it goes from here. Alright, so here we got what I assume are the liquidators who are going to go onto the roof and shovel the crap back down into the black hole. I'm sorry for calling these guys dehumidifiers. I actually couldn't remember the name. I had to look it back up on Wikipedia. That these guys were called liquidators. That is assuming that these are the actual liquidators as depicted. We'll see how it goes. These guys are in for a bad time, and they look pretty morose. They're probably just ready to do their job, but we'll see how it turns out for each of them. I'm assuming there's going to be a real sad hospital scene. Maybe their wife goes to another apartment in Kiev and looks really sad at the end. But we'll see. Alright, so this guy just walked out of the tent. I don't remember his name. I'm just going to call him Poe Dameron. He was just talking to the new guy, Pavel. And he says some stuff as though to the camera, oh, they're out of men. Instead of saying, we're out of men or whatever. It seems a little bit more like just lecturing to the audience at that point instead of actual human interactions. I'm assuming that Pavel dies. Maybe Poe Dameron makes like a couple more appearances in the series. We'll see how it goes. That's the theme. Alright, so Pavel just learned that he's hit the jackpot. He's got the animal removal team. And this guy tells him he can drink as much vodka as he wants after he shoots a bunch of stupid pets in the head. This is great for Pavel. I still think that Pavel's gonna end up as a liquidator. He's gonna be on the roof of a Misha team or whatever it was, where he gets a 12 quadrillion Röntgens an hour and is dead within 3.5 minutes, but it takes him 3 months to die. I think that's what's going to happen to Pavel, but as of this moment, Poe Dameron gives him the absolute jackpot. All he's got to do is shoot a bunch of dumb pets in the head because they run straight up to him. He's on the winning side right now. I guess what I'm trying to say is that Litty did nothing wrong. That cat probably got 1,000 rubles worth of vodka. We're in good shape with Pavel right now. It's just gonna make his fall even harder. So I almost just let this scene go without any commentary on it. It's a really boring scene. The physicist lady goes to a library and she has to deal with some librarians, and then she has to present her security clearance to the librarian in order to get access to some documents. And the long-haired John Lennon type of Russian guy tells her that she can have one of the documents that she asked for. I feel like this is a really big 1984 type scene. It's like, oh my god, they're censoring her on what documents she can and cannot have. It's more like this lady has a security clearance and she has need to know on some certain things and she doesn't have them on others. I guess I decided to comment on this one because I kind of disagree with the tone of this scene. Even though she clearly has need to know on certain things, it's just kind of lopsided in its presentation. They don't let her see some of the stuff, and that's entirely responsible for the state agents that are present. But this is an HBO series. Alright, so here we got some more interesting conversation between Legasov and Chris Tucker and the other folks in the room. They're talking about some robots. This isn't the one that we put on the moon, you silly goose. And they have a big old hug. And then there's some more interesting dialogue about oh, this is definitely not an American robot. This is a West German robot, and that was an awkward conversation. There's room for some slide whistle gags and some trombone, kind of doot 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 doot, like sort of gags in this scene. I don't know if this is supposed to be an interesting or heartfelt scene, since I don't really have a heart anymore. They surgically removed it in the course of making me a Borg android. But I don't like this scene that much. On the whole, it gets away from some central themes. I guess maybe it's supposed to make us emotional about some later failures and deaths, as they actually have to send liquidators in to clean off the roofs. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm predicting that this one goes. Alright, so we're not even less than a second later from the big hugging scene. I just had to stop it again because Comrade Dyatlov is back, for the third episode out of 4. And here he is. I just wanted to comment on his expression in this scene. It's like he knows that they kept him alive just so that they could blame him for some more shit. He's achieved like a central Zen peace in this still image, in this scene. He knows what's coming. He knows he's going to be blamed for some more shit, but he doesn't even care anymore. He is just the absolute champion of this series. I knew it from episode 1. Dyatlov he's gonna maintain his demeanor until the moment that he dies, and he knows he's only alive for the purpose of being blamed for some more bullshit. God damn it. I'm never gonna finish this video because I'm gonna stop this scene every 8 seconds because of how much I fucking love Comrade Dyatlov. He's all like, oh, what do I know? I'm sorry, did I make every decision correctly? Oh yeah, that guy, he made the call out. He made the only good decision he's ever made in his entire fucking life, to hit the AZ9 button or whatever it's called to scram out the reactor. He just doesn't give a fuck. He's chain smoking at this point. He finally got his sandwich. He's calmed down a little bit. He's willing to talk to this lady. God damn it, Dyatlov. Why are you so good? Alright, boys, it's confirmed. I'm never going to finish this video because I don't think I'm going to get through this scene within the next 12 days, because every 12 seconds I'm just going to be pausing to comment on Comrade Dyatlov and his incredible, level of knowledge and his candor in this scene. He recognizes that you have to protect state secrets, and that what is this lady even asking about? Like, positive void coefficient bullshit. What the fuck do you want to know? Yes, obviously the reactor exploded. You just showed me a picture of it. What the fuck else am I here to tell you? I am literally dying. Can you please get me a sandwich? Alright, so this scene is just completely incredible at this point. I don't mean incredible in like an unbelievable way. I mean like in a Dyatlov is a perfect human being sort of way. In that he knows that no matter what question you ask, you will not get the truth on its own. Ask the bosses, you'll get whatever answer is the party line. And no matter what you ask, I'm gonna get the bullet. He already knows this. This is him accepting it. Once again, as he already did in this scene. God damn it, Dyatlov. Why are you the pinnacle of human achievement? I'm not even being sarcastic. I love Dyatlov. I genuinely love him, and I didn't even know this guy existed before this series. So I'm at this point, I'm most appreciative that I even have learned of his existence. I hope this is an accurate representation of a human because it gives me personally something to aspire to. Alright, so I guess this scene is supposed to make us feel really bad about having to kill a bunch of dogs. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm just not really buying it. Maybe it's because I lost my heart in the Borg invasion, or maybe it's because I eat animals every day that existed in a torturous existence and then were eventually shot in the head for me to feed on as a human, as being, morally superior to these animals. Anyway, I guess the point is, these guys are killing a bunch of dogs and they're playing a bunch of sad music. I just don't feel the any sort of empathy in this scenario. It's like, is this guy gonna question the duty he has as a traffic cop because he has to shoot a couple of dogs in the head? Like, dogs are pretty shitty. Not on the whole, but a lot of them are, and they definitely deserve to die, I guess is my point. That's probably not going to go over well, but it is what it is. Hit me up with those dislikes or likes, fellow dog shooters. No, I haven't ever shot a dog. I haven't. Poe Dameron is right in giving this guy the business because he let the dog suffer, and he deserves to drag the dead dog to the truck on his own. Like I said, yeah, fuck these dogs. Shoot them in the head. Don't let them suffer. Poe Dameron is entirely correct. I've heard a lot of talk about this series and how it's so commendable that they took a 6-episode series and turned it into 5 because there was, it just didn't require as much to tell the story. I feel like they probably could have turned it into a 4-episode series without this stupid ass shooting dogs in the head story. Like, I guess it's because, like I said, I don't have a human heart. But seriously, guys, like compare this to Dyatlov's story. It doesn't even hold a candle. Like, a boy learned that sometimes he has to throw a burlap sack full of kittens into a river in Alaska to keep down the surplus population. Like, this is not even remotely comparable on the spectrum of human catastrophe that this story tells, that I've liked so far. So, like, I really, really hate this scene and these series of scenes about this guy killing some fucking stray dogs. Alright, so I'm pretty thankful that pretty much nothing has happened in the last couple of scenes, because it'll make this video a little bit shorter, make the time I need to make it a little bit shorter. Comrade Dyatlov, or sorry, not Dyatlov, Legasov, and Chris Tucker have learned that robots aren't going to solve the problem. They're going to need to send people up there. Well, they haven't learned that yet, but it's obviously what's coming next. And the fat guard needs a new phone. That's about all that's happened so far. He said some stuff about getting angry at Gorbachev. I think it was Gorbachev. Whatever. We'll see where it goes next. Alright, so Comrade Legasov just mentioned using bio-robots, which is a very dehumanizing term to use for humans. It's kind of weird that they chose to use that term in Comrade Legasov's voice. I don't know what they were going for there. I doubt that it is historically accurate, so in fact it has to be a creative choice. And then they cut to these guys who I guess they have determined to have become, these are our versions of bio robots. I don't like this at all right now. Obviously, I knew since the beginning of this episode, because I have an incredibly high IQ, that these guys were going to end up being liquidators. But so far, the representation in this episode has been severely subpar. Shoot them in the fucking head. Shoot the dogs in the head, you idiot. Shoot them in the head, and if you miss, keep shooting until they are dead. This is the correct thing to do. Shoot them in the fucking head, god damn it. Alright, Poe Dameron's doing the Lord's work in this scene by shooting all those dogs in the head. This guy looks really sad. They're playing some sad music. This is what I hate about this episode the most, as I've previously said. Just shoot the dogs in the fucking head. Poe Dameron is doing the Lord's work. Alright, so here we got the liquidators heading out onto the roof to clear the rubble. And they've got 90 seconds apiece, which sounds historically accurate to me based on vague memory. Yeah, that sounds about right. What I mainly want to mention is the disconnect between what was previous, the last scene, you know, a really sad song of burying some dead dogs and cats in some cement, and now we've got these guys going out to the Ring of a Bell. 90 seconds apiece, probably to their deaths. I really, really do not like this contrast in this episode that they're making between the dog killers and the humans who have to go out to their deaths to clear rubble off of the building of Unit 2. Yeah, I mean, I predicted this from the beginning. And I guess that's really all there is to say, other than the fact that I especially do not like the tone of this episode. Alright, so here we are. Right before this scene, we see a scene of the firefighter's wife painfully going into labor, as women, you know, tend to do when they go into labor. I don't really know the point of that scene. I guess it's they played some spooky music as though the baby's going to be born with like 8 legs or whatever out of The Simpsons. But anyway, back on to the point. Dyatlov is going to go on trial. They tell each other this, or I think Legasov and Chris Tucker tell this lady that at this point in the scene, and she tells them that she has a minute-by-minute account of the disaster. I suspect this is what ends up being the cause for Legasov's suicide, that he can't tell the true story as he sees it, or whatever his dumb reason is. Anyway, I guess at this point, you know, we only got a few minutes left in the episode. I gotta say, I don't like it so far. I'm hoping they turn it around. Alright, boys, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, we have this scene where the scientist lady is explaining that actually graphite-tipped control rods can increase reactivity when you insert them into the core. And Legasov is like, yes, my boy, somebody whose name I forgot, knew this at the time and warned. Oh, he warned the Kremlin. Oh, that damned Kremlin. Oh, they knew it. They knew it, but they couldn't test the supremacy of the Soviet nuclear program. God damn them. Anyway, if you couldn't tell, I was being a little bit sarcastic. I don't I like the first 3 episodes a lot of this series. Right now it seems like a little bit of a what's it called, a caricature. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe the last episode, I suspect the last episode is a better retelling. I'm thinking that episode 4 is going to be my least favorite at this point. We'll see how it goes. But it seems a little bit goofy at this point. Yeah. Alright, so I thought I was done with this episode until this latest line by Lady Scientist on the right and Chris Tucker on the left. She's saying that the widow of the random firefighter who died, who we've been following for this episode with the spooky music, who went into labor on the bench. Yeah, her baby died after 4 hours because because the mother would have absorbed the radiation, but the baby did instead. Um, I don't want to make light of the geez, this is probably going to be a bad take. But Jesus Christ, like I to my knowledge, and I might be wrong here. Feel free to correct me in the comments, my loyal YouTube bros. But this is a terrible retelling of the victims of Chernobyl. That the lady's unborn child ended up dying. An unborn child dying in the Ukraine is I don't know if there's a documented case of this occurring due to radiation, or if there's a confirmed case. Like, this seems like a complete fabrication, and I'm welcome to being told different. I'm welcome to being corrected, but yep, this is the pinnacle of this terrible episode. Okay, so thank God that it ended. It ended on the grieving mother next to an empty crib. And with some we've had some sad music before, and this tops it all. This is the saddest of the sad music. They've been getting sadder over time, and like I don't want to be too hard on the series so far, especially on its use of music, because I've thought it's actually quite poignant and good at times. In the first 3 episodes, and even in this one to some point. In fact, one thing that I anticipated coming in was that the series would probably be very bad in its use of music, because, as they say, radiation is the silent killer. And they say that because it's true, so I was kind of hoping that they would make more use of silence. And I think they actually did to a very effective degree so far in the series. But anyway, I guess I should close on my thoughts about this episode, which, if you didn't get the impression from the last couple of cuts, I really didn't like in its tone and its delivery, which is a shame, because honestly the liquidators are one of the most tragic groups of people involved in this. I just really didn't like the delivery of it, man, and it's a real shame. But the Litty reacts must be reacted thereupon, and there they are. I'll see you guys next week, or 3 weeks, as was the case with this episode. And have a nice day.